Honestly, most UX audits are a complete waste of time and do not produce the outcomes that people are looking for. Today, I'm going to show you how to perform a UX audit that actually drives impact, moves metrics, increases conversion rates, and ultimately makes you more money. And if you're a designer trying to improve your craft, this will also help you look like an expert to clients and eventually win more. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around. We'll cover that in the video. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button and let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to cover 5 specific things to make sure that it is maximally effective. Number 1, you want to understand the current state of the product. Number 2, we want to make sure we set our goals. We're going to do the actual audit. Number 4, we're going to package up those findings. And then number 5, we're going to prioritize those. What do we work on first? What's the most important? How do we know? So that's kind of the 5-step framework that we're going to look at today. So let's dive in. Okay, so before we can even get into doing this whole audit, we have to understand the current state of our product. We really want to dive into what are the key pain points that users are facing. So we want to know where users are dropping off, where the metrics are tanking, what pieces people are hesitating on, what's the biggest complaints we're getting from users, and what motivates them or demotivates them to do things like completing purchases. We got to dive into these pieces to really understand as we progress, like what we're shooting for. Because if we don't know where those key current state and pain points are, then it's going to be really hard to perform a UX audit that is actually effective and moves the needle. If you don't understand the why behind why you're doing this audit, you'll end up fixing a bunch of random things that don't actually drive impact, that isn't actually what the business wants, and that ultimately you'll just waste time and spin your wheels doing useless shit. In the comments, go ahead and drop what are your biggest pain points that you know of in your product right now and what you're having trouble with. It'll be interesting to see like what kind of stuff you guys have. What kind of stuff have you already identified, or have you identified them at all? Okay, let's dive a little bit more into defining your goals and desired outcomes. We understand the current state of the product, but now what are those outcomes you're searching for? And how do these match up against the current state of our product? This is really paramount when it comes to making sure that we're getting the outcomes that we want. There's so many different goals that we could be shooting for as a company: more users, more conversions, sales, more time spent within the app, shares, whatever that goal is for you. We want to get crystal clear to make sure that when we do the audit itself, that any of those findings help to support those goals and help us drive closer to the outcomes that we want. Otherwise, to be honest, you're just digging a hole and filling it back up for fun. Really no use to it, and you end up spinning your wheels. So this is where we're going to get into the meat of it a little bit more. So grab a pen and paper, make notes, pull up your website, whatever you do. But we want to get into understanding where the pain points are, what the issues are within our website, so we can now go about and find recommendations that need to be made. So when we're going through this audit, we want to keep 5 key things in mind. Number 1, clarity. Is the message super clear on what your product or service or website is offering? If it's not, flag it, make note of it, and figure out how that supports your goal. Number 2, the flow. Is the flow logical? Is it not producing friction? Can people get to the outcome that they want without running into roadblocks? This could be something as simple as a sign-up flow, as a checkout flow. This could be converting people from free to paid. There's so many different ways. But number 3, hierarchy. We want to look for making sure that the most important information is the easiest to find. We don't want to have to look for it. We don't want to have to hunt for it. We want to make sure it's front and center. So when our users get to our site or our product, there's no guesswork. They know exactly what to look for very easily. Number 4, consistency. This is pretty cut and dry. Colors, fonts, weights, icons, screens, spacing, all that good stuff. We want to make sure that that stuff is consistent because it helps us build trust with our users and ultimately lead to better outcomes. And number 5, density. And when I talk about density, one of the things that I mean with that is if you think about when you go to a restaurant, that menu that has about 300 options and you have no idea which one you're going to pick, you get overwhelmed. You're like, shit, I'm just going to order the same old thing. I'm going to do a cheeseburger or whatever that is. That's density. Think about when you go to a website and there's about 150 different options in the menu. You don't know what to pick from. Density. Make it super crystal clear with limited options so that the user does not have to have cognitive overload. Okay, so we've done the framework. We've talked about the goals. We've done all that. Let's talk about how to take it and put it into action. We want to prioritize what to fix. My favorite way to do this is impact versus effort. So we plot this on a grid where we have impact, effort in a 4-quadrant grid, which basically means that we're saying how much impact will this have to our overall user database versus how much impact will it have to the business. Ultimately, we want to be looking for things that have high impact and low effort, meaning low engineering cost, low money to produce, but ultimately will have high impact to our users, ultimately driving more money, more conversions, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we want. The things that fall into that category, those are the things that we want to prioritize and make sure that as a business, those are the ones we go after. Well, that's it. That's all we got. A super simple way to identify how to run a UX audit, what to look for, and how to then go apply those findings in your business. So hopefully you found some value in this video. Drop in the comments what things you found in your UX audit, how it went. Found this video helpful? Like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you next time.